Oh, come on, just work already. Sorry. Hey Questers, and welcome to another episode of BMF, the unofficial home for all things Oculus Quest. Special thanks to Cortopia Studios for sending me the game to check out. Today on BMF, I'm taking a look at Wands on the Oculus Quest. Wands is a first-person, online multiplayer, wand-wielding VR game that was originally released on the go back in 2016, and has since been ported to PC VR as well. In Wands, you duel against online or AI opponents to earn dust and increase your level in order to unlock more powerful spells, additional wands, and also more character skins. Is Wands a mystical success, or does it lack the magic needed to keep you coming back? Let's jack in and find out. If you've been looking for an online multiplayer game that'll allow you to feel like you've jumped into the world of Harry Potter, then Wands may be just the game you're looking for. Although each match only allows for a one-on-one battle, it ends up creating a more personal face-off instead of a whole bunch of people on the map trying to blast each other. Looking back to the Harry Potter movies, 90% of the time, if wizards were battling, it was one-on-one, so it doesn't feel at all out of place to me. In fact, it makes jumping around the map and trying to pinpoint the best way to defeat your opponent that much more challenging in my opinion. When it comes to online multiplayer, I played at such odd times I could only find a handful of matches, but the AI opponent was fun to learn how to best play and test out new spells. The matches themselves are not super long. In fact, some matches ended within 30 seconds, depending on how fast and frantic I was moving around the map. Speaking about the movement, this game uses a teleportation system to move around each map. There are set locations around the maps that you can teleport to. I wasn't really sure how this would work or feel, but it actually does work really well. Plus, if you suffer from motion sickness, this should really help reduce that. Teleporting is as simple as holding down on the grip button to show where you can move, pointing to the location, and then pulling the trigger. It works super fast, which is good because matches can get pretty fast-paced. Casting spells doesn't use a gesture system, which I think fits better for this game. Can you imagine trying to wave your hand in a certain pattern at each other, and in the heat of battle trying to remember what gesture does what? Games like the Wizards work with gestures because there are only a few spells, but this game has a massive number of different spells, and I don't know about you, but my memory isn't good enough to remember 30 different spells and what they do. Your wand can actually only be equipped with 4 spells at a time though, but it's a cool mechanic to be able to swap out the spells and create different loadouts essentially. As you progress to higher levels, you can have up to 3 different loadouts ready to choose from in the game lobby. To cycle between the spells in game, you use the thumbstick to highlight the spell and the trigger to cast it. Some spells can be held down to charge, and others can be fired quickly, one after another, until your mana runs dry. There are also protective spells and even traps you can set, and just a ton of different types and functions for the spells themselves. You'll also have to watch your mana, as when it runs out, you have to let it recharge. Let's jump backwards here for a second. When you load up the game, you start in your home menu, which is essentially a home base, where you can unlock new spells, wands, and characters, as well as use the portal to jump into matches. As you play, you'll earn dust, which allows you to buy new wands. Some of them look really cool actually, or use the dust to buy a new player skin. You start off with a couple of skins and then can purchase others as you get more dust. In order to unlock a new spell, you'll have to earn points by leveling up. You can also head over to the Blackboard to check out any news and the leaderboards. The game itself is fun, fast-paced, and plays well, but how does it look and sound? Visually, I really enjoyed Wands. The locations vary considerably from dungeons to outside locations, and each map has its own look and feel. Plus, each map also has its own elements specific to that location, such as a train that you have to keep hopping around or a giant skeleton that pops out of the lava. One of my favorite parts of the visuals, though, is the spell effects and how the different spells look when you cast them. They did a really good job at creating good-looking visuals for the spells and creating a variety of looks, so it doesn't feel like you're just casting different versions of the same spell. When it comes to audio, it sounds good, with different spell noises and location noises, and the music fits well, but the audio kind of pales when compared to the gameplay and visual quality, in my opinion. Not to say it's bad, just average. Using this game in the Quest really allows for freedom of movement, and although you use teleportation from location to location, you can physically move around each spot. Spinning to look for your opponent is awesome, and the controllers track perfectly with the inside-out tracking. One thing I would love to see added is the usage of the offhand. It's just kind of there. Maybe they could introduce some sort of items that could be used in the offhand, like a set of rings that do different things, or have different powers, like a shield ring that when used allows you to use the shield and wand at the same time, and then has a cooldown period, or maybe a ring that allows you to absorb an enemy's spell, aim it, and then send it back at them while then having a cooldown period. Overall though, Wands kept me thoroughly entertained, and I'm excited to continue my journey to become a master wizard. Wands did something for me that I'm always looking for a game to do. It made me smile with delight. As I faced off against my online opponent with wand in hand, I couldn't help but feel a rush of excitement and a twitch in my hand as I waited to duel it out with the person opposite me. Wands is a game that's not just fun for those of us who love fantasy and mystical powers, but it's also a great online game with a good community, and because it supports crossplay with all the other platforms, it really opens up the ability to play with friends and family, even from other VR devices. To me, Wands is a no-brainer if you enjoy magic or online gameplay. If you want to get the most out of your quest and the best bang for your buck, then subscribe to BMF for more quest-related content and hit that bell icon. Plus, if you're looking for more quest games, you can check out my other reviews here. Thanks so much for watching, and happy questing.